Video is to continue what we've been doing in class. The whole year is about exploring function families, and we took a brief look at linear functions, and we'll spend a significant amount of time looking at quadratic functions. And you've been watching videos from me on Edpuzzle. You've been doing Delta Math assignments and Khan Academy assignments. All these little puzzle pieces are meant to give you a big picture view of how these quadratic functions behave graphically, what their equations reveal, and ultimately what their tables will reveal as well. So probably the best way to use this resource is I will post this document here that you're looking at right now on the screen on Google Classroom. I provide you with a function. I call it function a of x, kind of a change from the traditional f of x or g of x. You can call a function by whatever letter you want. And then go through and help you to answer these 8 questions here that follow just in looking at this functions equation. No technology, no use of any calculator at this point, just what we know about analyzing this function. And my suggestion to you is to try to do it on your own with your classmates if you can. Try to answer as many as you can, and then come back and watch the video for some confirmation of those answers. Additionally, I'll probably take this equation as well and feed it into our graphing calculator and show you that the same analysis can be conducted with technology. So let's get started. First question is, does the graph of the function open up or down, and how does the equation reveal this to you? So if you focus in on what's called this quadratic term, this negative x squared term, this is the linear term in the middle, negative 4x, and this is the constant term 12. If you focus in on this quadratic term, that's what reveals to you the direction of opening of the function. So I wrote here for you, this particular function opens down. There's at least 2 ways to figure this. One of them is that whenever the leading coefficient, in this case of the quadratic term, is negative, the parabola is going to open down. The other way is to remember that the parent function of f of x equals x squared, which we discussed in class, always opens up. Now that the sign of the quadratic term is negative, we should expect all outputs to be negative. At least the quadratic outputs to be negative. So the graph is going to face downward. It is positive, or possible, to get positive outcomes, but the ends of the parabola are certainly going to face down because the quadratic term here drowns out these other terms numerically. Question 2 asks, does the graph have a maximum or minimum value? And because we know that the graph opens down, we should conclude that the graph has a max value. Here we read the graph from left to right. Notice that the outputs are getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, but as soon as we hit this vertex, in this case a max value, those outputs begin to get smaller. So this graph has a maximum value. Third question is to find and report the equation for the axis of symmetry for this particular function. Remember that all parabolas are symmetric. So we have a general formula. X is equal to negative b over 2a, which I like to read as the opposite of b over 2a. These values will come right from the equation. Your a value is negative 1. Your b value is negative 4. C is 12, although you won't need C in this case. And so the opposite of negative 4 would just be 4. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So we report the equation as x is equal to negative 2, and I've sketched that here. You're going to have this vertical line that bisects the parabola, splits it into 2 mirror images. That's where our equation for the axis of symmetry is at x equals negative 2. Question 4 asks, what is the maximum or minimum value? Remember that we determined that we have a max value here, value singular, so we're looking for excuse me, we're looking for a single number, and that number is going to occur at the vertex. We don't know exactly where that vertex is. We know that x equals negative 2 goes through that vertex. So if we go to the function and give it a negative 2 and evaluate the function for negative 2 carefully, we find that a of negative 2 is 16. So the function's maximum value is the number 16. Subsequently, I ask you what the maximum point is. I'm kind of ignoring the word minimum. Doesn't apply in this case. And now the word point connotes that I'm looking for an ordered pair. So the ordered pair is negative 2 comma 16. That also happens to be the vertex of this parabola, the maximum point. Question 5 asks you to find and report the y-intercept of your function using an ordered pair. Excuse me. This is a conversation that I've not yet had a chance to have with you, but If you think about quadratics, um, when they go through the y-axis, they are doing so because x is equal to 0. So what you will find is any time that you're looking for a y-intercept, you simply let the input equal to 0. When we do that, the first two terms basically turn to 0, leaving you with the number 12. Some of you have recognized that the constant term effectively reveals the y-intercept, so that 12 there is the y-intercept, and so we report it as 0, 12. Again, when the input is 0, you'll always find your y-intercept if it exists for a particular function. Question 6, we already had the answer to. Sorry about that. I'm asking you to report the vertex of your function as an ordered pair. Well, when we found that maximum point, we also at the same time found the vertex. The vertex is at negative 216. Question 7 asks, what quadrants will the graph pass through? You may have forgotten how or where the quadrants are. The quadrant we use most often is the one in the top right corner. That's quadrant number 1. And we label them counterclockwise, so we go to the left. Excuse me. So that's quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. And because I know the vertex is at negative 216, because I know the function opens down, and it has a y-intercept at 0, 12, I can now effectively conclude that this particular graph will pass through all 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is not, by the way, a legitimate graph. This is a sketch. I don't have really many ordered pairs other than the vertex and the y-intercept, and I barely have that. But it gives me enough of an idea of what the graph looks like so I can conclude that it passes through all 4 quadrants. And finally, with this image in mind, I can report out question 8, which says, what are the domain and range of this function? Excuse me, please. So remember that the parabola, if we look at it again, opens to the left and to the right indefinitely. That means that its domain is all real numbers. Even though I've not shown this notation in class, this is a very kind of effective shorthand notation for reporting all real numbers. It's a capital R with a double bar through its spine. And then here, I'm reporting using inequality notation the range. Y is less than or equal to, I think, 16. Is that right? Yep, 16 is the maximum value. In interval notation, we'd say we're going from negative infinity, no bound, that's why we have a parenthesis, all the way up to and including 16 itself. So that's how you would kind of analyze the functions equation and be able to answer these kinds of analysis questions. We can do the same thing here using a graphing calculator. I'm using the online emulator here. Excuse me. When you plug in the function and you press graph, initially you don't get a particularly good picture. These are the default window settings. And this is a skill to develop. What you'll notice is that I really need to see more of these negative y values. Really don't need any of the first quadrant or the second quadrant. So bearing that in mind, what I'm looking to do is kind of limit the x values. I don't need as many of them. The positive x values can end at 2. What I need is a lot more of these y values, so perhaps we'll go to negative 20, and if that's not enough, we'll come back and adjust some more. And the y max, let's say, is 5. This SCL business next to x and y references the scale. What are the increments we want to go by? So on both axes, we're going by 1s. Let's see if there's any improvement now on the graph. And I would say that's a significant improvement. I can see much, much better what the behavior of the parabola is. And this seems to kind of mimic, well, wait a minute, it doesn't mimic exactly what I had up here. Let's see if I've entered the equation wrong. Negative x squared minus 4x minus 12. Let's just do a quick check. Negative x squared minus 4x plus 12. Oh, at the very end, I guess I have a plus 12. I've got a negative 12 here, so there's my error. Thankfully, I caught it. I'd hate to do the entire video from scratch. And that just means I'll have to adjust my graph, and that's fine. I should have had this in mind when I went through and set up the window, but you know, I'm imperfect, so sorry about that. Let's see if I can adjust a little bit. So how about this x max become 10? Y minimum, let's say negative 5. Let's give myself way more y values to see. Awesome. Much, much better. And now it kind of reflects the sketch that I provided earlier. So these same questions can be answered now both in looking at the graph and using a little bit of the graphing calculator's features. Does the graph open up or down? Clearly it opens down. It has a max value. We can see that in looking at, oh, it disappeared. We can see that in looking that it's opening down, and it has a max value. Man, all this toggling. Let's see. Find and report the equation for the axis of symmetry. Well, that's wrapped up in finding its vertex, and I think I did a video on this for you that you watched, but happy to do it again. We're going to go to second and calculate, and we're looking for the maximum value. So I'm going to set parameters here with my cursor to the left of that max value and to the right of it, and then press enter, and there's my max value at -2, 16. That's actually the maximum point. The maximum value, again, is just the number 16. Remember that this is, imperfect, but effectively this is the number -2. What other questions can we answer? So the equation for the axis of symmetry would be x equals -2. That max value is 16. The max point is -216. All of that is revealed here. If I should wish to find the y-intercept of the function, let's see, I think there might be a way to do that as well. Let's go to second and calculate. Or maybe not. Zeros are something different. Those are x-intercepts. Intersection is really where lines cross. But if I go to the table, press second and table, here I am at 0. Remember, when the input is 0, you're looking at a y-intercept. So the y-intercept is at 0, 12. So that confirms the answer I got earlier. We've already reported the vertex of the function is -216. You can see also that in looking at the graphing calculator, we go through all 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Domain is all real numbers because the parabola opens to the left and right. Its inputs effectively cover the entire x-axis, but the same is not true for the y-axis. The max value is at 16, and so y is less than or equal to 16. My hope is that to do one more video like this, where at this time I use so-called messy values, where numbers are not integers all the time, so that you have a chance to kind of deal with a slightly tougher problem. And we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.